Mammograms suck. Now, we all know that the mammogram is incredibly effective in detecting early-stage breast cancer, but they still suck, right? Those of you out there who've had them, you know what I'm talking about. Now, for most of my life, to a certain point, my X-ray experience was pretty standard. Go into a tiny little changing booth, strip, put on a Johnny, lock up my clothes, go into the X-ray room, and then the same thing happens. Standing, sitting, lying down, it is all the same. The tech practically runs out of the room, leaving you there all alone in semi-darkness. And then this voice comes overhead that definitely does not sound like George Clooney, and it tells you to hold very still and not move. The X-ray machine makes magical, painless visions, and then you're done. So when I had to go for my first mammogram, since that had been my experience, I wasn't worried about the test at all, just what the test might find. So I'm at the breast center, and the drill is pretty much the same, except this time they tell me I have to put the Johnny on with the opening in the front. So I do this. And I end up in a room full of other women, all sitting there, all wearing Johnnies with the opening in front. We'd all really much rather be doing something else. We sit there waiting, thinking about those other things we might be doing. Flying to Paris, walking the dog, studying for the bar, eating chocolate, having sex, eating chocolate while having sex. So when it's my turn, this really nice tech walks me down to this little room, and she closes the door behind us, and that is when I see it. It is tall, beige, plastic, looking perfectly harmless. The mammogram machine. She tells me that I should come up to the machine and drop my left sleeve and stand with my chest right up the bottom plate of the machine. So I do that. She steps on the foot switch, and the bottom plate moves up to here. I think this is cool. Then she takes my left hand, puts it on the side of the machine, tilts my right shoulder back. Hello, that's where you are. Right shoulder back. Tells me to turn my head to the side, and then she apologizes. Ah, yes. She grabs my left breast in both hands, pulls it forward, and hits the foot switch. The plate, the top one, the bottom one is motionless, of course, but the top one starts moving down towards the bottom one. And she's telling me to do this and that, and it's moving closer and closer until the only thing separating the top plate from the bottom plate is me. Remarkably flat, oddly shaped me. And it hurts. It hurts like hell. Not cool. Not cool. Oh, yes. Why is this X-ray different from all other X-rays? Besides the fact that it could save your life? Well, medieval torture chambers come to mind. Thumb screws. Or, actually, it's more like, let's take each never did anything to you boob and squash it in a very, very big vice. It feels like your breast is going to rip off if you or the machine move. Hold your breath. Hold your breath while we turn your breast, one at a time, into a pancake. a horizontal pancake, a vertical pancake. And you have to do this over and over and over and over again. Now I ask you, since mammogram machines, the mammogram, is so effective in the detection of breast cancer, why don't men have a machine just like it? Okay? After all, men love machines. It's a no-brainer to me. Okay, so what could we call it? The manogram? A little too general. Ah, I've got it. The penogram. From the Latin. The penis is squeezed between two non-vibrating plates that are attached to the penogram machine. Yeah. Imagine that. There's these two guys, they meet up, right? One of them says to the other one, "Hey, Jake, you look a little worried. Where are you going?" "Oh, Al, I'm okay. I'm just going for my yearly penogram." And because they're guys, they would be on drugs. Yeah. Yep. Well, I always heard that if you felt something in your breast, excuse me, to myself, here I'm saying this to myself, and it hurt, that was probably a good sign, because it usually meant that you had a benign cyst, and that wasn't anything to worry about. I had had cysts in my breast before, and the doctors had drained them, and that had been that. But this time was different. This time, there was a cancerous tumor hidden behind painful cysts. And if I had not had the mammogram, they never would have found it.
This is the song that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friend. You've heard them, right? Those annoying kid songs, the ones that just keep repeating over and over again. You feel like the song should have ended a while ago. You know, they just keep going on and on and on, and you feel like they should have ended 5 verses ago. That is what cancer is like. Just when you think it's over, it's not. There's always something else to worry about. Another surgery, a treatment, a doctor's appointment, therapy, perhaps some medication that needs to be refilled, whatever. That's why it is really important to educate yourself. You have to be active in your own treatment. I made it a point to make sure that I knew what was going on and what was happening to my body during my cancer experience. You can collect brochures, do research online, read books by experts, by survivors. And I also made sure, once I was diagnosed, that I got a second opinion before any surgeries took place. I don't care how psycho the chemo made me, I didn't want it again. You have got to self-advocate.